Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about how not to choke, as well as how to deal with those situations that may so much not be in your favor. And in this video you're going to see a lot of situations where I probably should have died, including being trapped into a box twice with traps. So I'm going to kind of talk over some of the clips as well as give you guys a rundown like always. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Now, to answer the question of how not to choke, there's kind of a lot to it, but to start off, my biggest tip is to get comfortable in those situations. For example, say you're not doing well in late game. You might be able to make it there quite easily, but once you do, you're not sure how to play it out, and you might kind of make a lot of mistakes. And the biggest thing that I can say is the more you make it there and the more you practice those late games, you might be able to figure out what you're doing wrong or maybe something that you're doing right. And from there, it's all on you to apply that to yourself and improve, or maybe try to do more of those things that you are succeeding well with. For example, every day pro players practice scrims because every single endgame is different, and the more they practice and the more they experience different kind of endgames, the more they're going to be prepared when something unexpected is thrown upon them. And especially in a tournament, not choking in those situations could cost them a lot of money and possibly make them a lot of money if they execute it correctly. So if you are struggling with your edits or your builds, make sure that you're kind of picking apart your gameplay, and if you are, focus on those little things rather than kind of just keep on going with it and keep trying. Pick apart your gameplay, go into replay mode, record yourself with OBS if you'd like, and then kind of look at what you're doing wrong. And one of the best ways, if you're not sure how to fix it, look at pro players. I did make a video on how to analyze pro players' gameplay, and that's a really great way if you are struggling, that you can kind of get a pro player's outlook on how to improve in that certain scenario. Now, in the beginning of the video, I told you I almost got trap killed twice within this game, and here's the first one. Now, these situations are always kind of an iffy one to kind of deal with, because I'm getting spammed out from the bottom from one player, and then I get pushed from above from another. And at this point, you kind of have to rely on instinct, and if you've been there before, the easier it is to deal with these situations. Now, I figured I would push height, considering the fact that I did have a good amount of mats. I probably could have killed that player with a trap, but he ended up squeezing away from me and ended up jump padding away, which I probably should have fouled, considering I just pumped him pretty hard and zone was closing in. But the player below me decided to shoot me out. And in those situations, you kind of just have to rely on instinct. And like I was just saying, it all comes down to being there in that situation before or somewhere similar. And that comes down to playing a lot of games. And like I was talking before, getting comfortable in those situations is probably the most important thing. Now this player drops down on me again, and I do luckily get a one pump off on him, thankfully, because he was kind of annoying using that P90. So this player is the player I was fighting before that I probably could have trap killed. And he was a pretty good player, and he was kind of being annoying with his turtling and such. So you kind of have to play these situations out, which is going to be safer for you, because if the player is good, it's going to be especially hard to deal with them. As you'll see here in a second, he pumps me from below for like 40, which is kind of ridiculous, as you can see there. And at that point, it's not even worth taking that fight, because he's just going to keep doing it. You're probably not going to be able to take much off of him, and luckily another player ended up showing up. And this is kind of what is the most beneficial thing, as hopefully these two players will end up fighting, and then you can kind of third party and take off players from that. Now the player that I'm shooting at ends up jumping down, and I'm pretty sure it's because he ran out of mats, which allows me to kind of pick at their fight between them, and I end up picking him off, as well as eventually getting the other player, which you'll see here in a minute, and he almost trap kills me again. But one thing you'll notice is the fact that when I do get put in those traps, I always run to the wall and immediately pickaxe it, and sometimes if I can, I run to the other wall, but for the most part, the player is going to put down traps on each wall. And as soon as I get out of that box, I'm placing down a wall to protect my side where I just came out of. And that's just from habit and getting in those situations before, because I know how to deal with them. And that's what the kind of message I'm trying to get across with this video. getting comfortable in those situations and knowing what to do. As you'll see here in a second, he's going to ramp out at me, and then I break that wall, immediately go out, place that wall. Now he can't follow me, and I have the power over him and kind of that wall to hold. Alright, so that's going to wrap up the video here though. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to leave me some feedback down below, and if you have any recommendations for a future video, make sure to let me know as well, as this video was recommended by one of you guys. However, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.